Welcome back. I think you're going to find this story very interesting. It was a personal note that was sent to me by a listener, a man who is from Belgium, living in Cambodia. He says for about 8 years. His first name is Greets. And there was a link in the article, and I was in a hurry. I fired back a quick response and said, yeah, this is pretty amazing. $500 million for COVID-19 being given by the EU to Cambodia, where they have had 124 people, 125 cases, and one of them that was local. He said nobody died. And so for that, from the EU, they're getting $500 million to fight COVID-19. I said, yeah, there's obviously something else going on with this. It's about control and other things. And when I looked at the article, and I just fired back a quick response to him, it's really, I'm going to have to, maybe he's listening. He says he listens on a daily basis there in Cambodia. But Greets, I'm going to send you a letter because I was really struck by personally what you're being put through there. But this is also a story, not just a personal story, but this is also a story that shows the global nature of this and the hidden hand of the Chinese as well. So understand what is going on with this, the manipulation of people, creating a global ID, putting the Chinese in charge of what's going on in Cambodia. There's a lot that is happening in this. And just taking a look at Cambodia. About $504 million in grants, reports the Khmer Times, KH.com. About $504 million in grants and loans. They said because of, they're to help them with the COVID-19 pandemic and to mitigate its socioeconomic effects. The EU ambassador to Cambodia said, the coronavirus pandemic demands cooperation and solidarity, yada, 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 right? When you look at this, however, what you see is that they say, well, we're giving this money because we want to enhance democratic principles and we want to promote and protect human rights and strengthen gender equality. And the Khmer Times says, read the statement. Sounds like it's something put together by Soros, the UN, so forth. And that's exactly what this type of stuff is. This is not about a disease. Again, $500 million, and you had nobody died, 125 cases in Cambodia. And he sent me a list of all the different people that had cases that they had identified in various provinces there in Cambodia, but nobody died. But $500 million, for gender equality and human rights and all this other kind of stuff. Yes, the camel's nose under the tent, folks. And when we look at what else is behind this, I started doing research on this. I found another story. July 5th, the impact of coronavirus on Cambodia. I thought, oh, okay, well, let's look at this. So they have an economist and a researcher, the guy who is a director of the China Study Center at the Royal Academy of Cambodia. You understand how they're operating there just like they are here in America? Here in America, the Chinese government has been funding research centers. They've been sending Chinese students. They have their Belt and Road Initiative that they've gone into developing countries like Cambodia and so forth to to extend their tentacles of control. They do it at the top. They do it at the bottom. They come after resources. They come after people. And that's exactly what is happening here. So they say, well, what has happened with the coronavirus, the impact in Cambodia, where you've had 124 people, 125 cases, nobody died. Well, the first thing he says, it's immediately they start talking about vaccines. When they find a vaccine, both the U.S. and other Western countries will use fiscal and monetary policies to boost the economy. Then Cambodia's economy will resurrect, he says. And he says this, at present, the Chinese economy is not much affected. Now, Chinese manufacturing and industry have started production and export to 67 countries in the Belt and Road Initiative, which is a good start. In other words, immediately, he says, yeah, we're going to get China is going to be there to help us. That's one of the reasons why the European Union is trying to get in there, because this is a political move. But here's his personal letter. He says he's from Belgium. He's been living in Cambodia for 8 years. He says he kind of felt like the EU would never be the place to be. He was concerned about what was happening there. So he thought, well, I'll go to, an area where there's not going to be as much control. He says he lives in a low populated area. He says, I call it more like a jungle here. I built my own home. I have big land with cows, all sorts of fruit, vegetables, chicken farm, ducks, so forth and so on. He says he has a wife, kid of 3 years old. And so he says, I'm wondering, why they need this here. And he goes, but then when you look at what is happening in terms of the control, this is the part of the story that I didn't see. He said, I had a visit by the local boss here. Let's call him the mayor. I know him very well. I've always kept close on any issues that might appear. He says, I'm probably the only non-native around this low-populated area. So this guy who is the local boss, mayor, if you will, told me that the governor from Phnom Penh, the capital city, wanted to come to see me 3 different times. And he lied about me, and he held them off. So mainly they wanted to check on me, probably to deport me, but I don't really have a clue as to what they want. All these years, I'm here without a tourist visa. I'm here with a tourist visa, rather. He said in time, it would not be able to keep them away anymore, said the mayor. So he asked me to solve this. He said, maybe go to the city, maybe arrange to get a passport from the Khmer passport so he could stay. He said the other options would be to leave or to set up papers for my wife to be a single mom and not to live together, break up the family. He said, I found that for this $50 million coming from the EU, all the citizens are going to get $20. That sounds about right, $500 million and give each of you 20 bucks, and then they keep a big part of it, just like we did with our stimulus checks. But here's the catch, right? Because there's always a catch. When you get this money, they're going to take a picture of your face in your home. That's going to be put into a database that will be accessible to the European Union and to the globalists. The mayor confirmed that. He said, yeah, in any country, they'll be able to find that information. He says, I think that's just a step to the vaccination. So my wife and I decided that she will go on as a single mom. That way, I will not be verified living here. For the mayor, it's okay. Only when something happens outside the province where he could not assure my safety or be able to help me. He said, Thailand is even worse. He says, they will start to track all movements from all foreigners. And pretty much no foreigner will be welcome in Thailand except for the Chinese. He says, this has nothing to do with COVID. And let me tell you something. You're a fool if you think that this pandemic here in America has anything to do with COVID. It doesn't. This is a global movement by these people. They control information. This is a blitzkrieg information war of lies and propaganda. And at the end of it, it is a global ID for everybody, vaccines for everybody, a eugenicist agenda. He sees it in Cambodia. And I appreciate it. He says he's a regular listener. So, folks, it's not just here. This is why we call it globalism. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Where the hell did this water come from? Right? Where did it come from? Where did it come from? Where did it come from?
InfoWarsStore.com. We can't survive without pure, clean drinking water. So make sure that it's always available to you with the Alexa Pure water filtration system. This gravity-fed system filters through all the toxins and gets straight to clean, healthy, great-tasting water. Yummy in my tummy. Bring the purest, most refreshing water to your home by ordering the Alexa Pure water filtration system today from InfoWarsStore.com. InfoWarsStore.com. Other systems just don't compare.